Kill a Kill episode 13. We are in a weird spot, I guess. Wrapped up for the most part what I would assume to be the previous arc and kind of opened our world so much more to the new, I guess, conquering that Satsuki wants to kind of do. We're in a weird spot though because of where Ryuko fits into all of this. Now having the knowledge of her father's passing and the killer, with Nui coming involved, to now knowing about Nudist Beach and their involvement, to now seeing and getting direct confirmation, I guess, in a way, from Satsuki that she's the one who ordered this hit and who has these other sort of plans, and telling her that she had utilized her kind of as this puppet in a way to figure out everything that she needs going forward, and ways to kind of develop things to allow this to be successful. So the fact that we are keeping her around, what exactly does that mean? Should we be a little cautious on that sort of part? Has any of these people just been telling lies and not straight out meaning exactly what they're saying and doing? And where does Ryuko go from here? Like, immediately wanting to go out of her way and find and do something about Nui, of course, would make sense. But where exactly do you even get off, like, starting that? You clearly don't have the strength, and you have to go into this insanely evolved spot that's just completely unhealthy and would consume you completely, to even try and fight her. So training arc, potential just like sit down reflection and work towards gearing up to something to begin a climax, likely into what the second core itself would probably consist of. I don't know. We are at that point though. This feels strong core break type point. So I'm interested. I really don't have a clear idea, I guess, what Riko's going to do. I kind of hope we do get a little bit of like damage or potential like lingering of things that occurred from the previous fight on her, just because I think that'll be like good scarring wise to like show us visually the growth and the stuff that she made and the things that she had to kind of overcome and go through before. But outside of that, I really don't know what their intentions are and what they plan to set up and move forward with here. So I guess we'll just wait it out and see. I hope you guys enjoy. If you like it, all the like and subscribe down to my Feel Free to. Stick around for the discussion. Let me know in the comments with this sort of series is going with episode 13. And now, a moment you've been waiting for. So we have to utilize all members of the school to do this? Their newfound information anti each individual area. Cool. This also does a lot to expand the world itself a lot more. Yep. Right, that is a level above your 3-star likely. Okay, I love that from her. They're like the Power Rangers. Alright. I'm just having a helicopter on standby. Just call them the Uber copter. Aww. It's not like I wanted to go, but an offer would have been nice. Complex mind. Short bus students. Great, free though. Who cares if you're gonna go through a battlefield once or twice, you know? Wow, I was gonna say, wow, surprised she knows this. They're all in the same region. There's something so lovable about someone being so confident and wrong, but I don't know. Something about her.
暴走から目覚めた後、すぐ学校に行ったんですけど、それから帰ってきてからはなんか急に塞ぎ込んで、鮮血ちゃん着ようともしないんです。
Gotta give him some room to breathe. Internal fear. Who are you? Formally, what happened? What did you do? Right, there's gonna be something. My favorite is also just going up to somebody and being like, you can trust me. Like, on what grounds can I trust you? I don't know you. Want me just to take the word of somebody who got banned for what? Well, at least she tried. That's sweet. What did you put in there? Ma'am? Oh, that's fun. Yourself included. The moment things were getting good, you had to just jump in. So you just expose it all. Yeah. Okay, never mind then, yeah. I don't know if she necessarily struck fear. I think Nui was the one responsible for that. Let her just trauma dump it all. What a hype man. Him and Mako are a great pair. How many damn windows do we got? This is our briefing meeting of why are they all the same? Honestly, all the members of the school look the same too. I shouldn't be surprised. This is like a mandatory thing within Sasuke's family. That's it's an interesting idea. Ma'am, that is your daughter?
カムイはカムイ同士でケリをつける。いいことだと思うよ。ではなぜ工事法制士など本能寺学園に送られた？
That's what I want to know.
工事法制士。ああ、ヌイのことか。あれは仕方
Dude, shut up.
芸術家の気まぐれはいくら CEO でも制御不能だ。
Hmm.
なるほど。ですが私の計画を邪魔する者がいれば私の判断で処置します。好きにやりなさい。カバーズの子として動く限り世界はお前の味方だ。明後日サンと制圧修学旅行に出かけます。報告は受けている。
I can't tell if we're just going along or if I've had a really poor read for 12 episodes.
これで我が本能寺学園の全国学園支配が完成する。日本中のすべての学園にリボックスの制服が支給されることになるでしょう。そして学生たちの裏に潜む裸のサルどもも引きずり出す。よくお分かりで。関西を最後に残すからには理由がある。私の娘ならそう考える。お任せください。桐生院の名に恥じぬ戦いをお見せします。ラビエートホール。人生は面白いか。ああ、これからもっと面白くなる。
Just lurking there the whole time.
気をつけたまえ。私の娘は怒らせると怖いぞ。
いいんじゃない？そのくらいの方が本気が見えて。ラギョウ様もそれを望んでるんじゃないの？
Yeah, that would make sense from the perspective of being worthy in a way.
おはよう、満貫色くん。
あ、柳田さん、学校来ていいんですか？
Why are you in
マ
here?
トイくんはまた休みか。
今日もセーラー服とにらめっこしてた。
They just had to stare down.
僕たちでやるしかないな。
これは？
Who's we?
僕はもう逃げない。そうマトイくんに伝えてくれ。
This is such a bad look for Mako. Like how his idea is just to rally people and worry about the plans later, as opposed to like having like a strike. He took him head on. Listen, I respect it, but you gotta prep a little better. I knew this was gonna happen. Come on, Mako. You're not one too great with words. You gotta talk yourself out of it somehow. Oh my god. The timeout chamber. What? Flavor. I'd rather be in the chamber. No. He speaks like one thing one thing a day. Right, he didn't want this. Yeah.
自分が望む以上の力を引きずり出されて、お前は泣いていた。お前の涙の苦さ、私にもよくわかった。
I like how even though he's clothing, we still worry about him as and treat him as a person.
私はリュウコに切られたい。多分私はお前に切られるために生まれたのだ。
何か思い出したのか？
いや、ただそんな感覚がある。お前の血を吸うたびその感覚は強くなる。
Get addicted. That's a personal fight. No! You can't even chill in your own house without getting your ass. On your husband, this is probably not the first place you want to stay.
だがあの時お前は止まった。自分の力でな。だから私は何も怯えていない。
To be fair, so where he's at, like, this is his purpose. So if he's not serving that, like, it's not like he can just get up and walk away on his own, you know?
僕は絶対に勝ちないぞ負けるもんか
待てその男をどうするつもりだ問答無用ってわけか
Big ass hand.
だね行くぞ先決形ばさみぶっ飛ばげるぞ戦意喪失
I like how we don't, like, decapitate them.
こいつら人間じゃない
No, wait, never mind.
ようやく来てくれましたね、龍子さん。
凪田てめえが仕組んだのか
そうだよ。彼らは僕の操り人形。
A scary dude.
いや、あなたもかな。だが弱者を救済するためにその恐怖を克服する。あまりにも素直な反応で可愛すぎますよ。
まさか貴様
Ooh. What a menace.
張り目縫い貴様だったのか
データが消えていく
私に鮮血を着せるためにこんな回りくどい真似を
Yes.
だってさつき様が出入り禁止
I had to take it out. Oh, that makes sense. That makes I forgot. Yeah,
しててくれるかな
yeah. Can you control yourself or you auto resort to that again?
こないだと全然違う
やかましい
やっぱ怖いんだ自分が
そんなことない
飽きちゃったなあおしまい
Damn. What the fuck?
君にカムイを着る資格はないよお父様に会いに行きな
Oh, fuck. The boss arrived. You said not on school grounds.
ものに行うことはただ一つだ
やだなマジだよこの人わか
血の粛清受けてみるか
ったわかった消えるわよその子にも飽きたしね
これはマトイリュウコのカムイですか。
その残骸だ
これをどうしろと。
Remake
戦
it.
車を選びこの歯切れをそれぞれに配れその上で修学旅行での戦闘データを集めさせろ
了解しました。
Coming Sengetsu Mako.
本能寺学園に学んで3年この戦いが我々の待望の第一歩である私から
Our as if we're a team.
勝て本能寺学園サント制圧修学旅行出発せよ
We're going to war. Let's go. I thought it was just labor. Wrap her up. I wish she passed. Ah. That's the Nexus right there. There ain't no way they can rebuild them. And episode 13 comes to an end with a surprise reveal of Nui towards the back end. Be the man that I started to really like throughout. He seemed very determined. He didn't seem like he had a proper plan or anything, but he seemed as out there and chaotic as the rest. Nagita got, I don't know, he just revealed himself to be someone he wasn't. Really clever on her part. I really didn't think that we were going to get to see her right away. I assumed that there would be some sort of hold up, some sort of thing that prevented us from actually going out of the way, but maybe more so like we take Ryoko and she goes out of her way to find a way to find Nui. But the fact that Nui's just like, I'll just seek her out and I'll make this happen is hilarious to me. And I absolutely love that. Getting bored in the middle and then just being like, all right, screw you and let me kill Sengetsu in a way. You can feel shocked in the moment, but it's only so much until you realize, you know, they're going to do something with the pieces of him. And then the reveal that we left her with one. And I also don't know if it's they, like Satsuki on purpose was like, let me leave you this one in some sort of way, or that you'll be able to like come back and have the will to fight again and reconnect with him in a way, or if it was more on the ends of like, he still has like a conscious being in a way, even if he's not fully combined to become a part, or she has like this subtle subconscious thing that she wants to, you know, latch on and not release him and let him go. And she was able to like take this and hide it in a way. And that's where that one is. And the fact that all the pieces they took are blue and his was red, I think like really screams that, you know, this could be the life point essentially of him. And that's the one that they need. So no matter how much or what they're going to figure out and what they're going to be able to construct through the pieces that Satsuki and crew ended up taking there, this might not be enough. It might not even be anything that they can realistically do without this other spot. Also could be wrong. It could just be to like, I don't know, be a little different for whatever reason. But my assumption would be that because she has this, it's like this is the key like component and only piece that really has a meaning directly to it, and the rest is just fabric in a way that they go out of their way and use. But I don't entirely know. That would just be a overall assumption on my part. We go through a full arc though, and Riko has to kind of come to terms with, you know, the way that she's feeling and communicate that and express it to Sengetsu about, you know, her own fears with herself and forcing somebody into doing something to like alter them and potentially harm and kill them, and not wanting to go through and do all that. It's solid reasoning, of course, for that to be the case. But at the end of the day, he is a uniform. His purpose and reason for being is to be worn. And, you know, regardless if this happens, it happens in a way. I don't know if I get the read fully like that she's just concerned for the general life of this person that she's grown close to and has this relationship with now, and she doesn't want anything else to happen come past this. So she's a little too worried about jumping back in, knowing that she might not be able to control herself and something may happen to him again. Actually, I guess that is the only reason. I don't know what else I was thinking to be, but I guess that's more so what we're trying to make it out to be. And it takes the convincing of, you know, his own end to let her know that he's fully okay with it, and to let her know that the more he gets worn, the more that they grow closer together, the more he like has this sort of attachment and wants to be there, and that he's plenty okay with, you know, no matter what would happen, and believing that things like that potentially could not happen in the future, or may not, due to the fact that their relationship is growing so much. The blood is getting sweeter in a way. Fine stuff, I guess. It's nothing too crazy. I think it is a little underwhelming in a chance for like full resolve to like get back on and into the fighting mood and put him back on and everything. It definitely is a little weaker. There wasn't anything too strong, I guess, on that front. It's pretty generic and basic on a certain part, but I do really appreciate and like her own feelings like towards Sengetsu and viewing him as a friend and a person, as opposed to just like a piece of clothing that people would be like fully okay if something ends up happening to, believing that they are fully replaceable in a way, and her just more so not wanting something to happen through her own sort of actions. I think it's definitely fun to get that sort of characterization out of her a little bit more, but nothing too insane, I guess, on that part. I do wish it was a little bit more. Maybe it took a little bit more time too. It does come off kind of weak and obvious that, of course, we're going to head down that sort of route, and it wasn't like some big like revelation about what actually occurred here. So like how they each ended up feeling in a way. So, but the other big and juicy things comes out of Satsuki's relationship, her overall plans and things with her mom. My assumption up to this point was always that they were kind of at odds. She saw the way that her family and other people like live in the shadows of a way under their parents, and just kind of like take advantage of the things that are given and positioned for them without really doing much. And she seems to almost have a full vision that I assumed would be complete direct opposite in a way that her mom actually has. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Her answers and I guess attitude towards her seems like she's just working under her to, one, please her, and also two, just showcase what she is fully capable of. So it is slightly different. Of course, she's taken the gifts and the things that are kind of given to her by the position that she's put into and her own status and wealth and all into a position where she can now go out of her way and really make something happen and make a name for herself and increase and expand on, you know, the wealth and power, I guess, within the family. So it's fun from that sort of sense. But at the same time, I'm still confused if now her goal is like truly to branch off from that when full power is obtained in a way. Do we plan to rebel and utilize things to create and restart things for ourselves, go against the orders potentially of like where the family's at? Or is it more of she actually is just falling in line and we're just utilizing this as a way to mandatorily make everybody kind of own and wear like uniforms and clothing and stuff manufactured by us is probably a way to fully have control. We've already seen all the members of the school are completely under her own influence here. And I wouldn't put it past if there is something within the uniforms and the things that people wear that kind of forcibly make them fall in line and fall under her. Because a lot of them, the very few, with Mako being like one of the only ones of people that we've seen not have to end up like wearing one of these uniforms, seem to not directly fall under the orders and want to do these sort of things that Satsuki kind of almost makes them. So it's like there's some variation in there. So I wonder if these uniforms have some sort of power to like be controlling of the members and the people who do wear them. So being able to conquer like, you know, the entire region that you're going after and potentially even the whole country here in a way is big for lots of power and financial gains. It would make plenty of sense if she is on like some sort of route, and if that is just a family goal at the end of the day, and her mom's own feelings towards like wanting to see what she is fully capable of is kind of my read on that. It was nothing like on the ends of like you're putting yourself in an impossible position that you're going to be unable to like kind of achieve, but instead more of like, go out, I'm putting this in a position that like I could potentially do this, but I want to see what you're actually capable of, and I want you to prove that worthiness in a way to me, show that you are fully capable of going all out if necessary and taking over and doing this without like realistically my guidance. It can be fun to see how it almost evolves. I think it would be fun for Satsuki to pull that out and prove that she's not directly on the side of the family, but instead just utilize the wealth and things to take that next step and jump over them, for potentially viewing the things that they're doing in a bad and negative sort of light. But I don't know, this episode like did definitely confuse me on that front, so I'm a little concerned, I guess, for where we are going to head with her. She's very intriguing. She's probably the most intriguing character consistently throughout this, where she presents herself on the exterior in a way that's very like stern and cold-hearted and doesn't care and beyond calculated, and all of this doesn't care is probably not the right thing for me to say there, but pretty cool stuff overall, like from her there. But on the inside, we do get to see that she's giving these people second chances. She's willing to take potential losses out of them to see future gains, these long-term goals that she almost has, as opposed to being short and narrow-minded here. So I think it's fun that she has such a weird dynamic, and once again, she can play that role completely, where her mom like almost is ordering her, like putting her in a position that she can do these things, that she's obeying and listening and telling her she's going to go out of her way and do all this stuff. But on the inside, she might have these other sort of intentions and plans. And I think that we are building her in a way that makes me really interested to see what her end goal and plans will be here. Was it all actually laid out for us here? Is there no intrigue or mystery for me to realistically have there? Or will it come to life towards the end? And it's not even a issue if it does stay to be exactly like this, because there is that weird like mystery that's kind of been built around her in a way that does potentially present that to go a little bit into the future. So it gets me like beyond excited that if she does pull something out towards that going against the family in a way, could be really fun. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't. It is what it is, you know? And this was actually planned all along, but it did keep me on my toes a little bit and a little bit more intrigued every time she was on screen trying to say something. So I'm excited. Production begins. I love how they all look like, I was going to say Ninja Turtles. No, Ninja Turtles do have colors. So Power Rangers in a way. Crazy for You, another episode. This is a really fun conversation between the two of them. I love Mako's like issue between not knowing, you know, being like, I wish I was invited. I didn't want to go. It wouldn't make me want to go more, but it's just like the general idea of being asked. And I don't also want to go for like this reason, but it would be nice to just go on like a little trip and be able to be included. She's really fun, and I like her just being entirely wrong and not knowing where these places are. Like these like otherworldly things. It's so funny. And here comes Nagito. He's so fun. And I like how all this stuff was set up directly from the beginning in regards to him, the family trying to get him out the slump. Them turned into butter is a hilarious joke to me. Here he comes breaking in. I also like how he just introduces himself. Like, rule number one, don't just tell people they can trust you, like prove it in a way, and he didn't do anything to showcase that. It's fun too, because I do wonder if all the words and things that are spoken directly through him here, I guess Nui we could just call it, because it is coming from her, are intended to like actually be her own thoughts, right? Like, does Nui actually feel that Satsuki's kind of taking advantage and all these people are being like brainwashed and not necessarily recognizing this and should all stand up and, you know, group together and go on to become something like Ryuko and fight? And maybe that's where her fascination in general is kind of taken within her, and her ability to evolve this uniform is because it presents a challenge. It's not just somebody that's strong for her to go against, but somebody to go up and actually face off against Satsuki. Like, she might see herself a little bit within this, as she seems to be the only one who actually has ever like wanted to take jabs at Satsuki and not just been intimidated by her power in a way. Could be like a fun little look underneath the mask while you technically have it on here. Is actually a nice idea to potentially think about. I love just trying to recruit these members and get them together in a way to rebel almost. It could be a fun little thing that we set up that flips Nui's character a bit going into the future. And would definitely, I think, fall in line and make a little bit of sense. And it would be the nice, like, interior but also exterior force, right? Like, interior because she's probably being ordered by the mom. Like, if the mom's full vision, according to like the way that I'm believing right now, is to see her daughter like succeed, but have her go through all these things and see if she is truly capable of like taking over and conquering and doing this. And to do that, you have to defeat those at the top. You can't just have a free walk, free ride to get this, right? So if you position somebody like Nui, who is on the interior, and you can't just directly set up probably a fight between the two of them, but you instead position her in a way that she, one, trains but also encourages Ryuko, because her defeating her towards the end here is actually something that might be a initial blow, but will be something, a very strong learning experience for her to have a little bit towards the end, that she can't play as reserved as she kind of is, and she might have to fully let loose, but have enough trust that like Sengetsu and her can kind of link and be strong enough together to overcome exactly what ended up happening in the previous episode. It could be fun that Nui might be that person to try and push her and get her into that position that allows for this altercation to happen towards the end, to try and put a stop ultimately to what Satsuki's plans really are. It would be a really fun, I think, direction for them to take. I love how they're all the same, because it just makes so much sense by the uniforms within the school being like the same, and all the characters like blending in and looking identical. The music with her is so good. Still talking about clothing itself being here and being a sin, trying to control the shares of the market and creating it. What exactly is clothing? What are we doing with it? And it's a fun, like, it's it's like dumb in a way, right? Try to paint it out almost like we're doing everything that we're doing and making people the way that we kind of are, because it's necessary in a way, and we're doing it for purposes much further than this. And by putting labels and creating sin, sort of in a way here, it's a fun way for them to try and like get around it and really use rhetoric here to to convince them. It's funny. I think so, but it's also like strong enough reason to give more context to directly like where they've almost come from and the intent behind like how absurd some of the overall things within the uniforms of the show has been up to this point. So it's like a fun little glimpse into Satsuki's mother here in the family business, which I am interested to get more of. I love that she gets like very special music every time she comes up. It is your daughter. You should probably stop groping her like that. Why was she here? I had no choice. Can't even rein her in. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to fully believe that. As long as you continue to act in the interest as us, the world remains your ally, right? Because of the market share you have within everybody else. If you go against this and you don't allow them to be brought in a way, we don't increase whatever we have within the Western worlds here, nobody else will have any reason to potentially go against you. Nuta's Beach making full sense, being like the stripped down version in a way now that no longer is or lives within sin, and they don't sort of like believe in it and won't be corrupted in a similar sort of way that the rest of the world seemingly has been with how large of a market share that they have here. I love Mako just getting like in trouble for the position she's here and being ordered into labor. It makes like scenes like this when she's mixed in with the crowd of everybody who looks identical and the same together here. Her being like the one that stands out, especially when they push her onto the truck a little bit later. And when you see somebody that comes up here and is in need a little bit later, they have to go out of her way and protect and end up helping, which is like a lovely thing. It forms the basis of like where she was towards the beginning of actually helping some other people that were directly in need while still having her reasons for doing, you know, what she was doing. Till we find out it's all fully set up and orchestrated directly through Nui, which is fucking a sick reveal. Makes sense why we couldn't figure out exactly who she was or who he was at the time. And you're a little boring, so we have to strip you and do whatever it is that we can. He's like, I will fuck you up if you mess with me one more time. Here we go. You're all out for war. But she still has a piece remaining. Fun episode. Really cool. That really feels like Core Break. I said last episode did, but this feels like strong wrap up to it, unless they have other stuff planned, which would make sense. 23 episodes, or 13. What am I mean? 23. I don't actually remember how many. I think there's like 25 or 6 episodes. So that could make plenty of sense for it to be the case. Excited to see where we head. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, like and subscribe down to my feel free to share with my channel. If you consider this other series, I'll be back for episode 13 this week. It was a great one. Peace.